Hello and welcome to chapter 244 of our streaming adventure. I don't want to jinx it. I think the hiccups have stopped. Okay. I say that, and I am just trying to warn you for the eventual hiccups that might resurface that had scared the dogs away, but they have returned to join me in the basement. Therefore, I think we can proceed. All right, on this installment, the plan is to continue playing in the qualifying rounds of the ManaTraders series this month. It is Legacy. And now, however, today is Wednesday, February 9th. The treasure chests have updated to have the new Kamigawa cards available. Now, there are quite a few cards that I think have a chance for Legacy Impact. Not sure how many of those will be available in the ecosystem and stuff, but I did look in GoatBots to... One of the things I found funny is when the treasure chests update, you can kind of go play the stock market, and you see their buy and sell price, and they see which... bots are listing which ones, and I think we did that, was it Ikoria time frame of trying to, or I remember doing it with Hull Breacher of you're hitting refresh. Okay, bot number 2 has it, bot number 5 has it, and that kind of thing. So I actually don't know if we have any treasure chests. We don't have treasure chests, but we have a Magic Online Player Rewards pack. Look at that. Look at those gorgeous planes. Okay, anyway. Playing that lottery, per se, of trying to find, the in-demand cards, or maybe somebody's paying a whole lot for a card that you don't believe is going to be worth it later. There are no short sales in Magic cards compared to the stock market, but it's one of those things where I don't believe it'll be 20 tickets later, so I'll sell it now to get what they have. I think it was Modern Horizons, because I remember having a full art looking new Yavimaya Urborg. And it was like we opened some treasure chests, we got some cards, we got rid of them, got some tickets, and then, of course, everything cratered once demand caught up to the supply, and the demand wasn't there, I guess is a better way to put it. Supply met the demand. But when we last played, we managed to get a few games, a few rounds in with updates to 8cast. Now, some of the things I realized that I had my Eternal Weekend list still out there. And looking at that compared to what we came up with for the ManaTraders series, I think we copied off a recent list, because that was the appearance of Mox Amber and having Caracas in the main over one of the basic islands. Otherwise, things looked pretty similar across the board, which is good. Like, a lot of the ideas were the same. Hull Breacher in the sideboard. I think there was a big, or I should say, knowing that 8cast was like gaining in popularity back at Eternal Weekend time, as well as I think it was like the Bant decks. My thought with Hull Breacher was going to, bring it in those matchups and really catch them off guard and stuff like that, as well as I have a great love for Brazen Borrower that I think I play it more than I should. But it's funny to see those in the sideboard then and just have it not at all appear here. We do have the Flusterstorm Force Negation mix. Back then, I think it was 4 Force Negations. And then we cut the extra Force Negations to put Flusterstorms in. And then in the event, we were doing well. We were doing well until the last minute when we ran into Reanimator playing like one in a black, Animate Dead. And I'm staring at the Flusterstorm in my hand. That Force of Negation would have countered the Animate Dead, and I just had to kind of. We could go find the video, but it was just like, why have you forsaken me? That is if there was a mirror here, because I'm the one who did it to myself. So yeah. But that having been said, Reanimator is kind of popular, and therefore do I. Well, here we have the Force Negations and the Flusterstorms just in case, because I think maybe it's Magic Online that has a lot more combo heavy. I think I saw somebody got their qualifying matches in using like Sneak and Show, and I still want to have, a variety of things. Do I need to go a full 4 copies of Chalice of the Void? I guess, what am I skimping on to have this extra Mox Amber and stuff like that I didn't have in the other list? So this for that, okay. Mishra's Bauble, Mox Opal, Spellbomb, Pithy Needle main, Pithy Needle's main, Retro, Shadow Spear, Nettlecyst, Retro, Shadow Spear, Nettlecyst. Okay, so a Soul Guide Lantern, 4. Nope. 4. And then, so this Engineered Explosive Chalice. This Mox Amber as a Soul Guide Lantern. I mean, some of these aren't terrible moves. Like Mox Amber, I think it did come up once and it felt especially clever, but I don't know that it's needed. You know what I mean? Move all. Where are these basics? Do I not own these basics? That's sad. How about the foils? Do I only have 2 of it for the foil? Of course I only have 2. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Now I still don't necessarily like the Echo Lion's Eye Diamond package. If I was doing that, I would want to have Karn and things like that to go with it. And I think that is a reason to have Hull Breachers even more, of how punishing that could be against Hull Breacher. On Colored Mana Source, we have the extra Aether Spellbomb. So really, what changed here? We turned the Caracas. That's what we did. We added an island, Caracas to the sideboard, Soul Guide Lantern in, but otherwise, yeah. Okay. Let me clear this. And ManaTrader Series 8 cast. Missing cards to the wish list. Export said wish list. And go hit up ManaTraders. Take a quick second to shout out sponsor of the stream, ManaTraders, that if you are interested in playing Magic Online but don't know exactly where to throw all your money, you could always choose to just rent decks. By renting decks, that's how I get to play all of the different types of things that I play on stream. I was a user of the service and sang its praises even before I got myself sponsored. I think perhaps it helped me get the stream sponsored. But also, our content you can see on Swish Gaming there. Check them out. Not only will you find my videos, you'll find other videos and other team members playing a variety of formats. And I think we even have a few other games there as well. Let's open our trade. All right. Okay. Close. Did we get all the versions? We have a variety of Mishra's Baubles. Sure, fair enough. Okay. Other item we need to do is we need to send ourselves to the Legacy Tournament Practice Room. And then fire up the ManaTraders matching. So far, we have played 3 matches. My deck is ready. Jay Pinter. This is the rules where you have to win 70% of your matches over the first 10, 65% from match number 11 through 20, 60% above that. And anytime you hit that threshold, you lock yourself into the Swiss rounds. Swiss rounds will be 19th of February here. We will do our best to get there. Out there on the leaderboard, we've got 85% win rates at the top of the leaderboard. Pretty good, all the way down to 65s. And actually, we see what? One of our opponents is out there on the leaderboard. Good job for them. Sorry that I handed you a loss, but you seem to have rallied just fine. I can bring up the list again as we look at better way to display it. Yeah. I do like the flexibility of having engineered explosives in the main. That was a tool when I play against Delver. I like you can set it at 1 and kind of have a sweeper effect for their main threats. That was even more prevalent in times of Ragavan, but it's not going to handle Murktide Regent, but that's why we have the Spell Bomb as well as the other. Hey there, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. It's quite possible with Magic Online just had their maintenance. During that downtime that they reboot everything, especially for putting the new sets online, that maybe not everybody is logged back in yet and able to play their matches. It is a distinct possibility. So we will sit in the queue. I have it up on my screen number 2 over here. But, of course, as soon as I say that, we have gotten our pairing. So I will create. We have found our opponent. Good luck, have fun. We will be on the play. All right. Turn 1 Chalice, followed by an Urza Saga that will eventually be able to start creating constructs. I mean, it ain't great, but I think we keep it. And, kind of hope Chalice is good enough, right? As of yet, I feel like I have not shown to my opponent that, okay, are they Storm? What else would play Chromox? I'm going to say that Dark Ritual seems ambitious. Were they hoping I wouldn't notice? All right, we can play Emery. Yeah, I think Emery is our best chance to kind of get something going. Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, and another seat. Do they have a land for their saga? Indeed they do. All right, so I feel like 1, 2, 3 would make Thought Monitor cost 4. We could also tap this blue to give ourselves more options before playing a new Emery. Alternatively, one, two, three makes this cost 4 mana, which if I play the Urza Saga, I will then have 4 mana. I think that's worthwhile. I guess I did have one more there, huh? Chalice on 0 does not feel like what I want to do. We could deploy a new Emery just to have more options. Another Chalice, a Sai, a Mishra's Bauble. Okay. Yep. Construct 1. I was going to say I expected Pithy Needle. Four mana. Karn. Karn is pretty bad news for me. Okay, Chalice is removed. I'm glad I have another one. But they plus to do it. Okay. So, when this resolves, I'll be able to get... We did say we had main deck Pithy Needle, right? Main deck Pithy Needle does exist. Also glad we didn't play it out for 0 due to that. So we could just replay. Going to attack. Do I have any ones that I could replay? No, I can give myself another Mishra's Bauble if I want that. Alright, so my saga is a lot bigger than their saga. And let's see. They could have the potential to go get Pithing Needle to turn saga off, so I think I need to respond. Like, if they try not to. Dark Rituals and Karns. What? Are they like a Helm Leyline deck? That's entirely possible, using Karn to kind of silver bullet your way into it. What else have we seen? Like Liliana 8-rack style. Okay. They're just floating for a colorless, so I think I need to make my token to prevent losing out. Chromox is not what I expected. Okay. Tutoring with Karn. Bridge, perhaps? Bridge would seem to make the most. Ensnaring Bridge. They have a new saga. The question I have is, can they get all these cards out of their hand? More Chromoxes. Imprint or no? No imprint. And a new Retrofitter Foundry. Okay. So then the question will be, I can't attack with Thought Monitor. Yeah, I think I just go get Pithing Needle. That's the simplest way. They're going to run out of mana. So we drew the Sai. That's pretty nice. I would need a way to produce blue mana, which I currently don't have. We could give ourselves another one. And go get Pithing Needle. Is there anything better than Pithing Needle? Eventually we can get this Engineered Explosives. Or draw the Engineered Explosives. Okay. Pithy Needle main. Karn, the Great Creator. Okay. We have chalices. We have a lotus petal. Let's bring the lotus petal back. Is there any reason to hold some of these other cards? It just makes it bigger. They drew a swamp. I like the idea that when the saga blows, they'll be down on mana source again, and hopefully can start stranding some 4-mana spells in hand. Can we chalice on? I don't feel like I need to chalice on one again. We can hold this in hand. We're hoping to draw a blue, pretty much. Need to draw blue mana. Mm-hmm. Now, are they going to be clever and name engineered explosives or something like that? What is this? Okay, do they have it to strip the card out of their hand? Okay, that's what I was wondering. Were they going to... Overwhelming Splendor, so they are curses. Well, that answers that. Yep. Still waiting on basic islands for us to be able to fight our way out of this. So in the meantime, waiting for Sai to give me the chance to break things open. I guess we're just going to pass the turn and look each other a bunch. Retrofitter might give them an opportunity. That's something like Spellbomb would help me with. Yeah, they've turned themselves into a Thopter. I can't play my own. How great if Emery let me replay Sagas. That'd be... Oh, that'd be legit sick. Okay. Pass to you. What's worrisome is what if they do get enough mana and they play a curse on me? You know? That could happen. Hopefully by then I'll have drawn into a Force of Will. I mean, we are racing to draw Basic Island. We have 2 chances at Basic Island left. Pass turn. Oh, I missed that they had 1 card in hand. They're going to overwhelm me with servos, potentially. My game plan here is just once we hit Basic Island, Sai can... I feel like Sai can start to go to town. I say that with 1 card. Yep, Chalice on 0 hurts. Oh, they realize that I have a flying blocker. I mean, obviously, I had to turn off Karn over the Retrofitter Foundry. I don't see this as too worrisome. Yep, they're creating your Thopter army. Trinisphere. Sure. Well, there's right on time, Force of Will. Like I feel like I can still win this. We just have to get to that basic island. Two cards in hand. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I kind of feel like if I want the extra blue cards, do I throw away Retrofitter Foundry? I think they have found a curse, perhaps? Well, unfortunately, that cost me 5 life to do so. Pass turn, and it will cost me 5 life to force again. Right on time. Oh, that's true. Because I can't. The minimum is still 3, so we're going to die from that. Bravo. Okay. What do we have to fight? Well, another engineered explosives. I want these force of negations. And extra pithy needle. Things that aren't as good. The spell bomb. Spell bomb isn't going to necessarily. The threats they have in play aren't the threats I need to deal with. Caracas, it's not going to be legendary. Force of negation, I think we kind of want to load up on that. Little dog fight in the background if you can hear that. So Soul Guide Lantern. No. I was trying to think of the wording on the curses and stuff like that, but I don't think that's where it's relevant. Potentially, I could see the trample here mattering. That was my thought for keeping Shadow Spear. I think the cards I'm most worried about, Force Negation wise, they're going to be able to play Chalice on 0, which I think is really going to hurt me. Chalice on 1 is good, but it's not. I think the Engineered Explosive coming in is definitely what I'm going to need. And the problem there that I wasn't thinking about is, oh, I'm going to get Engineered Explosives and clear it out. Karn is still the problem. I didn't have an answer to Karn there, which is kind of actually what I was banking on. And yes, yikes. That wasn't going to do everything I wanted it to, was it? Trim an Emery. Trim a Bauble. I think I need the blue mana, so I think I'm going to trim. Let's trim the Mishra's Bauble that doesn't match the other ones. Try that. Creature cards in graveyard. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. I don't believe that's how the curse works. Let's see. Won the die roll. So, we've got a turn 2 Saga. These Thought Monitors are a long way away from doing anything, though. Okay, how about this? So turn 1, land, Lotus Petal, Emery. I don't even have to crack the Lotus Petal. And then Retrofitter starts generating. I think I need to keep the Ancient Tomb, though. Darksteel, Opal, Thought Monitor, and a Force Negation. 1, 2, 3, 4, reduced by 2. No. Play a new Mox Opal. 1, 2, 3. Reduces it to a total of 4 mana. Play the Ancient Tomb. That works. Chalice on 0. If I force that, one, 2, reduces it to 5 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have to let that happen. Losing that land hurts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm only 1 away from being able to play this Thought Monitor. However, that 1 can no longer be. Okay, I'll allow that. All right. Maybe this little guy can grow. So I could chalice on 1. So what does that leave me? 1, 2, 3 is the reduction. So it means 4 mana, which I can't currently pay. Give him a 2/2. Equip is 2. If you generate this token, it's a 2/2. Okay. Take the life loss to deploy. Deploy a second one and get a bonus artifact. Could potentially be a Mox. If I don't think there's anything I do here. Potentially the card they've drawn is making them change their minds of getting a new. But I think if you make another one, now they're 3/3s. The next thing comes out and they're 4/4s. That's just more impressive overall. Chromox as expected. Do you have? They had the curse. So yeah, now it's 4/4s versus my 3/3. And unfortunately, because of all these chalices, I think I'm going to get on the back foot too fast. See, because yeah, I can't grow enough. I could put. I think that was my last hope. Control. They control it. They just are be cursing me. One, 2, 3. Means it costs 4, and I only have 3 mana. Yep. They're down to 5. Okay, they did target me. I thought I misread that, but they did target me. They just go get the one that makes me sacrifice a guy. Then they swing in for the rest. That sucks. That sucks. Well, not how we were hoping to start things out, but that makes us 3-1 now. Let's refresh, see if we can get a new match. Bum bum bum. All right, we found a new match. Opponent will be creating. There we go. All right, on the draw. On the draw with, well, technically, Bauble, Petal, Opal, Cast, Emery is legal. It's a legal play. And then tap Lotus Petal, Emery, replay Lotus Petal. 1, 2, 3 reduction, but asking me for 4 mana. Okay. This is not great, but my plan is to try to turbo Nettlecyst, deploy Soul Guide Lantern out there, and try to snipe something. Or just be lucky and have Soul Guide Lantern be useful. They could just have Wasteland. Scalding Tarn Tropical. Delver. See, now I'm wondering, do I try to get them to commit and then blow things up with Engineered Explosive? Are they Rug or Bug? I think if I waited one more turn, that way at least I'm not playing into days, force them to have the Force of Will. Like, I know better than to play. Okay. I would say I know better than to play into days, but I still kind of let it happen. All right. So we have a 3-3. So far, all we know is that they are UG Delver. We just don't know if the UG goes with a rug or with a bug. Pass turn. They have a brainstorm effect. Okay, appears to be rug. What is green getting them? Ancient Grudge? I guess we shall see. They could also dig for a bolt, or sometimes the toolbox has chain lightning now because that's a sorcery that helps fill out their. I want to say manifest. Manifest is wrong. Delirium. Forked bolt. Forked bolt is the other option that they play as a sorcery. Okay. So Saga will still pump Nettlecyst and have the potential to buy me a way out of here. It also, just by putting it in play, will increase the germ token. Yep. So then the question becomes, deploy the other Nettlecyst? And I think the answer is yes. And I can move to combat. So this is my turn 3, coming across for 5, but I've also done 4 damage to myself. This deck deals a lot of damage, both directions. Dog sitting nicely. Brazen Borrower is another card that is seeing a lot more play. That's kind of what I would expect this to be as a Brazen Borrower. Petty Theft, bouncing the actual Nettlecyst. Okay. That is fine. One, two, three, four, five, six. A new Delver. Casting the Fork Bolt. Okay, so do they have Force of Will in hand? If they do, okay, so we can deploy for 1, crack for 2. And the other 2 mana plays that. 1, 2, 3. We have a Brazen Borrow we're worried about. So the question is, do they have Force? If they have Force, I almost played it off in Urza Saga, which would have been terrible. So they have Daze, which I could pay for. And it means they no longer have Force. I pay 1 here. Pay 1 for the... yes. Come across for 5. Replayed the land we know they had. So they still have 2 cards available to them. Thank you, thank you. Sitting at 3-1 currently. We put another one of these in play. We can equip our Germ. Come across for 7. Okay. That ended up working out. So, like we said before, the fact that they are Rug, what does the green give them? Green could be Tarmogoyf. Green could be all the way back to Nimble Mongoose type stuff. Green could be Clothis out of the sideboard, to prey on certain things. It could be Carpet of Flowers. I think there's the potential for it to be Ancient Grudge. If so, yep, that's what I'm thinking, Thorn. Ancient Grudge. So, things that I think are relevant. I already like our main deck. I think Meltdown is a certainty. So, the kind of things that we want to fight over, I want Flusterstorms. I think that is a decent way, even with the soft permission of like Daze and thing, to try to have Fluster be our answer, as opposed to, I don't like Force of Negation in the same way, because I feel like Force of Negation... well, okay. Force of Negation and Flusterstorm can target the same things, for the most part. I don't think there's going to be planeswalkers or artifacts that I need the Force of Negation over the Flusterstorm. And I think Flusterstorm has a better chance of being powerful. I'm saying as opposed to something like, okay, if they play the Murktide region, neither Force of Negation nor Flusterstorm does me any good there. So, Engineered explosive in, either spell bomb in, and then things that can come out. I think the pithy needle is weak. I do wonder about the recurring aspect of. I think Psy is the one we want more so than Emery. But also, like, I do want an answer, so I don't necessarily want to cut the Force of Wills. But I think maybe the Thought Monitor. Sometimes that 7 mana total is just is so steep. I think I'm willing to let that one go. All right, let's try that. All right, so what do we got here? We would have to put both of these in play to reduce the price on Emery, but then have to give up the blue and then have double Mox Opal. Okay. Alternatively, this doesn't seem terrible. Keep this, keep that. Go into turn 2. All right, so of these, what do we throw away? Right now, I look really far away from this Emery, don't I? I don't know. Darksteel Citadel, Mox Opal. There's only one artifact away. I think I'm going to lead with the basic. Okay. Brainstorm. Remember when we remember how we were talking about All right, hear me out. You think they have the counterspell? Because I do. I like that. None of my nothing happens there. That's great. So what are your answers for Null Rod, champ? Oh, nothing? That's a great plan. That's a great plan if your answer is nothing. Maybe they don't have Meltdown then, if they have Null Rod. The answer, everyone? Hooting Mandrills. Hooting Null Rod. Like, is this just gonna be a daze? Are they gonna have like 2 dazes? They could. I'm hoping for a force. Okay, didn't get it. What is this? Weird nonsense is that? Pass turn. See, like, this will be a weird moment. It's like, okay, they cast Meltdown. They cast Meltdown for 1. How about that? That would be problematic. Cast an artifact spell. Wasteland, sure, problematic. Can we... Depending on what they do, we eat some of these miscellaneous artifacts and try to get back in there. Try to draw a card. They could have Pyroblast. They could be digging for Pyroblast. I was going to say, oh, we just get Aether Spellbomb. That doesn't work. Yep, 4 more. Second main. Boring Tarmogoyf, which I'm going to grow here. Land, sorcery, make it an artifact. Yeah. Okay. Now, that has potential. Artifact, land, sorcery. Instant makes it a 4/5. Or, more sorceries. Now, I was thinking, oh, we sacrifice again here to... However, if I sacrifice again... Mm-hmm. 4 cards left for them. Drawn some sweet ones here. Two to generate a saga, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Instead, bolt. Bolt me. Okay. Reveal Ancient Grudge. So, does that change what we want? I mean, Ancient Grudge is a reason to have Force of Negation, right? Yeah, I can't generate the token and hold up Flusterstorm. Okay. So, based on that reasoning, is it as simple as Force of Negation over Force of Will? I mean, potentially. That lets me upgrade my forces as ways to, as long as I'm not playing Force of Will over, their creatures, but also Force of Will is a proactive force, whereas Force of Negation is always reactive. Those spell bombs. I mean, Soul Guide Lantern still is relevant. I don't think Retrofitter Foundry is. So I don't think Retrofitter Foundry is how we're going to win. I'm going to do that. Anything else I want here? I'm going to say no. Alright, we're a Force Negation deck now. Yes, we'd like to play first. Keep. I mean, they're either going to have Force or they don't. Force, pitch, ponder. Okay. Going into next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Delver. One, two. Four cards in hand. So now the question is, do I let them think it's safe with 3, or do I deploy engineered explosives, makes it bigger, as well as 4? Okay, pass turn. The thought there was getting the germ out of range. They did not flip. One, two, three, 4. Makes this cost 3. Blue and 2. No combat from them. It just doesn't make sense. This could be an Ancient Grudge. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Force of will, pitch, ponder. Yikes. All right, I got no cards. He has one card. They have one card, flipping a force. So now, depending on what the other one was, this engineered explosive play might just come back to bite me. Could wait on this. Is it worth waiting on? I would say yeah, because then it's a surprise. Or having Mox Opal sitting out there. Imagine if for a second engineered explosives works the old way. Force of will. I know you got it. Force of will and bolt you. Force pitching stifle. Stifle, opponent straight out of 2007. And are we dead? We might be. I guess that's one way, say, when bannings happen, just go back and find an older list. You know? Size not enough. That is frustrating. We're going the wrong way here today. Going the wrong way. And to a degree, should I have made them play the bolt on the Dental Cyst, saving the engineered explosive to be the trump that I know that it is? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that was just poor sequencing on my own part. That why lose the powerful card that I didn't need to? Oh well. And I don't feel like there's anything necessarily about the construction of the deck. I feel like the changes we talked about at the very beginning, I think that's how I want it. So I don't think that's any kind of... There's nothing wrong there, per se. So, yeah. I think the play with the curses, Chalice was just too good against me. And then the Rug Delver, I didn't properly anticipate what threats, or I should say, I didn't properly anticipate what hate they would have for me. Nope. 3-2. We started with 3 wins, and I did not. I should have kept playing last week. Last week I went win. I beat 2 different Delver decks. Was feeling good, but all right, I have to create the match. I don't know, the difference a week makes is apparently a lot. All right, we have our opponent. Good luck, opponent. We lost the die roll again. They have... You only need one more? Ooh. Okay. So they're keeping 7. This could be the kind of hand that leads Urza Saga into Ancient Tomb. And then Wasteland makes that go poorly. But I feel like we can get them to commit on the first saga and then go in a different direction, so I'll keep this. And depending on if I draw a 0-mana artifact, maybe we deploy Emery on that first turn. We'll see what they're doing. This is it's ultimately a fair deck. So depending on how fair our opponents are, Underground Sea, I don't think our opponent's very fair. Duress, you missed. But I believe that means they are Doomsday. So now, what does Mox Opal change for us? If we go Seat of the Synod, Mox Opal, we can play Emery and try to get something there. Leading into next turn Sai, yeah. So Thought Monitor and a Mishra's Bauble in there. Preordain. I'm a lot more familiar with Vintage Doomsday than Legacy Doomsday. So I'm not entirely sure, like, oh, here's the window's closing, you're about to die type stuff. Preordain was a top. Thoughtseize, see you later, Sai. Okay, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3 reduction. Makes Thought Monitor cost 4. Doomsday doesn't run Dress. Okay, so Lotus Petal coming up for them. Hey, I drew a Force. Two, three, 4. 4 reduction means 3. Ancient Tomb, play it. We also play the Bauble, but no, if I'm going to activate to bring Thought Monitor back, I play that land, that'd be 5 reduction. 5 reduction is 2 mana. A blue and a black with a Lotus Petal that they've drawn. I'm going to say it could be... Like, I definitely have Doomsday vibes. Thorn is thinking Ant vibes, which is entirely plausible so far. I feel like they all play the same stuff. We got a Brainstorm check. We got a Dark Ritual check. I'm going to let those things happen. building up for... Yeah, I agree. I think they're going for threshold. I really like that force will draw. Okay. So the question is 1, 2, 3 makes Thought Monitor cost 4. If I were to play Seat of the Synod, that would give me 4. 5. If I activate, that's not enough. I could also just play out a Mishra's Bauble. See what's coming. Okay, I think that answers a lot of it for us. It's an ad nauseum deck. So based on that, let's get a Seat of the Synod in play with the plans to drop a Thopter. Or I'm sorry, drop a... You know what I'm saying. I like the idea that we could potentially put some life pressure. Could they also be... Thank you, Silky Johnson. That's a good point. If we play Ancient Tomb there, Ancient Tomb would give me hard cast force as well as pitch if we drew it. That's a good point. Okay, Infernal Tutor with cards in hand. I'm going to say okay. So they'd have to get another copy of, say, Lotus Petal or Ad Nauseum. But Silky has a good point. So yeah, they've gotten themselves another Lotus Petal. So now, 1, 2, 3... I believe we have Soul Guide Lantern in the main. And I'm going to use this to remove their threshold. So what I'm thinking here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that feels pretty good. We could even put Chalice out on 0. That seems greedy, but I feel like it kind of locks things up as well. Yeah. Chalice 1, Chalice 0, a couple of forces. All right, 1 down. Looking at the sideboard, I think Flusterstorm is easy. Now, I'm trying to think. Do they play... Well, okay, so if they're Ad Nauseum Tendrils, I'm trying to think. This stops Past in Flames, but if they aren't the Past in Flames version, what's the Bryant Cook version? Bryant Cook version is Epic Storm, the one where you're going for, the big not to say epic turns, but like burnish wood. You do think Past in Flames? What about okay, stuff for me to come out. I think Spellbomb. Spellbomb's an easy one. Pithy Needle. What would you even Pithy Needle in that deck? Test doesn't have a basic island. Okay. They're the more yeah, okay. Is Shadow Spear worth it to try to gain a little bit of life and get out of range? I don't know. I guess how much more do I want to come in? I want these forces. If I believe they are Past in Flames, then I do want Wishclaw. That's a good point. I was saying Grafdigger's Cage if I think they're Past in Flames. The kind of stuff that goes out is probably, I mean, Shadow Spear is definitely on the lower end of stuff. I feel like I would almost rather have Pithy Needle for Wishclaw than not. These size might be slow. I like the idea of Pithy Needle on the Artifact Tutor. I think that could be clever. And then is engineered explosives at least gives me an out if, say, they did goblins or whatever. I don't think they would, or if they let yeah. That's better than a Nettle Cyst. All right. Did we get Cage back in? I probably could have used the other needle, but all right. So what are we looking at here? We got that's what it was. Eve. I couldn't think of the other one they play now. So we got Grafdigger's Cage. I think I start by deploying Grafdigger's Cage. They might just they have discard effects. That might take this Chalice. Yep. I guess we'll see. I think Chalice is probably the obvious one to go, but then we can hope for Grafdigger's Cage to hold the fort, although it might not be doing too much. Oh, they went for the Cage over the Chalice. Interesting. So what does that change? We could draw Emery. Okay, knowing they have Brainstorm coming. Pass turn. Hey, there we go. Just in case. That's a hell of a draw. So, Soul Guide, Lantern, or Pithy Needle? I mean, I kind of want to just get. Although if I got like say Mox Opal, no. Soul Guide Lantern could be my backup emergency. So now I'm doing that just to have double blue if needed. And right now we have lethal. All right. That puts us at 4 and 2. Yeah, we got time. Let's play another one. All right, 4 and 2. Not bad, not bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that's one of the matches where the chalices, the quick pressure, all of that kind of the toolboxy aspect that I could have a soul guide or a pithy needle or wherever I need it. Having that come together definitely was in our favor there. All right, we have our opponent. We are lost the die roll again. Not doing too hot on those, but opponent wishes us luck. We could deploy. They have mulliganed. We could deploy kind of a quick saga, depending on what they do. We could use the bauble to see what's going on. This isn't great, but I'm going to keep. I like the idea of Saga coming online quickly. Like, I still like the idea of the power Saga has. They've already mulliganed to 5. They mulliganed to 4. I don't know what the hell's going on. Is this Reanimator? Opponent down to 4. Okay. This could just, yeah, is this just Reanimate? It is not. Oh no. Oh no. Well, here we go. I was gonna say, can we get a blocker? Skirk Prospector coming. That is a mana ability. Pithy Needle does not stop it. Sling Gang. Sling Gang something. Sling Gang Lieutenant? Shit, is that a real card? Yes. All right. We're drawing our Thoughtcast like a champ. Wasteland. Crap. That was my plan. I needed that. Prospector off the top. Is Muxus your last card in hand? Oh, thank goodness. Engineered explosives on 1 would take out my Pithing Needle. Doesn't seem great. But they really don't have much going on over there, do they? Maybe it's worth it. If I blow it up for... Put it out on 1. If I use that up, then I wouldn't have it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the biggest worry here is Lackey. I'm wondering, can I draw 2 before having to deploy the explosives? I can't see a way to deploy the explosive and Thoughtcast together. If I do this now, I lose this Pithy Needle, but I'm not really worried about that. So put this out for a single. Blow it up. That also works, doesn't it? 1, 2. Okay, so now I have 4. I can announce this. Draw. Start to rebuild. So they can't pay the Echo, but I'll be able to get Nettle Cyst and just be bigger than what they have going on. Drew a new Prospector. Okay. No attack seems strange. Okay, I now have a 3/3. Yeah, it was a Mog War Marshal. So now I have the biggest thing going on, and I got Potato Chip Eater here to cheer me on. And then we drew a Force of Will, so things might be going our way. What do you got over there? Take a Mog War Marshal. I mean, my thought is... One, two, three. 0 echoes. I don't really like echo. Goblin Ringleader can't be countered. That's a good one. Drew Muxus, War Chief, and a Chieftain. So the question is, can I... No, I want the extra resource. So, okay. So if I play Shadow Spear would let me gain a good amount of life. Yeah, I think that's the smartest thing. I could pay 2. Yeah, I was saying I pay 2 to move the blade over, and then it's that much more powerful. All right, so goblins. Torpor Orb. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. Muxus, Ringleader. I guess I want Dismembers here. Trash Master. Is Trash Master War Marshal? Yeah. Is Trash Master a reason for Pithing Needle? Grafdigger's Cage. Creatures can't cast spell. What does Muxus say? When Muxus enters the battlefield, reveal the top 6 cards. Put creature cards from among them onto the battlefield from your library. So Grafdigger's Cage does do that. All right. So I don't want to bounce Muxus. That doesn't seem like a great plan. Spellbomb? Do I just want max number of answers to... I don't think Soul Guide Lantern is doing anything here. Potentially, it's just these Force of Wills just aren't good enough. Especially if they're going to have Aether Vial, if they're going to have Cavern of Souls, things like that. Based on what I'm seeing here, like, is Caracas worth it as a mana source? Do I want Aether Spellbomb? I mean, is Aether Spellbomb just better than a Force of Will? And then I'll keep 1 Force of Will just in case. And then the Chalices, because that's the thing, is I put Chalice out there and they just cast through it. Like, that doesn't seem great. So this lets me max out on artifacts. I would have removal, Torpor Orbs, more tutor targets, and then I just kind of don't have forces. Yeah, let's see how that goes. So we have 2 needles for... I guess we could use a needle to stop Aether Vial as needed. Alright. So Shadow Spear in hand. What do I do if they mulligan to 6? I mean, I do have turn 1 Psy. Not much to do after that, but... Turn 1 Psy, play a Shadow Spear, get some dudes, and force them. Chalice, X equals 0. Cavern, Goblin, Lackey. Still had all these Thopters. Two blockers for your Goblin Lackey. What? Okay. They're drawing a Scalding Turn. So having said Fury, I'm curious if I want to put... Do I equip Psy and make it a 2/5? Put it out of range. So we know they were drawing Scalding Tarn. Goblin Pile Driver. With a Scalding Tarn in hand. I mean, to be safe, we could just get Torpor Orb in play with the plan to... What I'm thinking here, like we know they had a Tarn. They didn't play the Tarn that we knew about. I'm not crazy, right? Hmm. Like, am I crazy about this Scalding Tarn? Like, I know the Scalding Tarn, they just don't want to tell me about it? All right. So, that gives us a 3-0 session combined with a 2-2 session, putting us at, where is it? All right, we have played 7. We are sitting at 5-2. The first threshold is to get a 70% win percentage, or we need to go 7-3 out of our first 10. So right now, 7 matches down, 3 to play. If we can go at least 2-1 in that session, that'll qualify us for the Swiss. After that, from match number 11 up through 19, the threshold comes down to 65%. And if you're not able to catch that along the way from match number 20 on, the threshold is only at 60%. So as of right now, we're gonna end on an up note of that second win. But I mean, overall, looking at what we played today, there really isn't anything here that I really dislike. Engineered explosives in the main is something that I have liked before, and it really did do the job. The second Aether Spellbomb in the sideboard, which was meant for Murktide, the Delver deck we played against today, I guess it would have made sense to go after Hooting Mandrills, make them do the delve all over again, but the bigger problem was me not properly understanding what the green sideboard options were. The fact that they dipped into green was Hooting Mandrills, was Tarmogoyf. I think we figured out Ancient Grudge, but it just... What was the other green card? They had... It was like Disenchant that you can exile a card in a graveyard. So they really just had a better matchup against me than I did them. But I feel like that's similar to how we did against the Storm deck. the chalices, the flusterstorms, the pressure we were able to put on Pithy Needle, Soul Guide Lantern in the main, all of that gave me a good matchup against them. So, I mean, those are some of the trade-offs. You're not going to build a deck that beats everything, Delver, but you can get yourself well positioned in some matchups. So I'm happy where we are so far. Now, the one thing to consider is that the qualifying period ends on next Tuesday. So I will not be able to play next Wednesday and still have it count for this. So what my plan is going to be is try to find some time tomorrow, maybe Friday. Wait, tomorrow wasn't Friday. Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday, maybe Friday. Try to get these last few matches in, because if we do need to play a lot more matches to hit that threshold, we're running out of time. So we'll see how things are going, but otherwise, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. So I appreciate everybody that has hung out with me today. It's good to see you, Crouch. I haven't heard from you in a while. But thanks for the follows. If you really like what you're seeing here, you can subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel gets you a spot on the wheel that helps kind of do a little bit of user-guided content towards what archetypes or formats or decks you want to see me play. You can also catch my content later on swishgaming.com. Check some of the links. Hey, and everybody who's in the chat right now, come over to the Discord. Come say hi. We talk about upcoming decks, what things I'm going to play, all that kind of stuff. So if you're hanging out right now, come say hi, and I'll let you know there where I'm going to be going live. So I really do appreciate everybody who's with me today, and I'll see you next time.